All right, welcome in. It is Friday. It's time for Total Bases. Kind of sound like a broken record this week. I have had some really bad luck in MLB. Yesterday, I had the Blue Jays down to their final strike. Needed one strike from the best closer, one of the best closers in the league with a 2-run lead, and somehow that's a loss. I think it's my second bet this week where I probably had like a 98% chance to win the bet, and it lost. So frustrating. It was my only play. Decided I wasn't messing with any more baseball after that. Stayed up and watched a very entertaining football game. I guess any football at this point, when you don't see it for a while, is entertaining, but a walk-off winner for Haynes King and the Panthers in the Hall of Fame game means absolutely nothing, but it's nice to have football back. Bryan Leonard, how did your Thursday go?
More of the same. 2-0 yesterday, winning by margins. That puts us 5-0 the last 2 days. I don't get a chance to brag much, but this doesn't happen very often. Number one in baseball the last 3 days, number one the last 7 days, number one the last 30 days, and number one in the lifetime of WagerTalk, which is 12 years. So if you haven't joined up with myself or either one of these other guys, and we've been seeing that battle for number one in the last, for the 2026, I hope you're doing well on your own, because we are all very good, and it just so happens right now. I texted Tokyo the other day when I was back at Cleveland. I says, I'm coming for you, because he was number one all over the place, and I was able to pass him. So it's make sure to get at least the 2 out of the 3 of us and get that double play, and let's get some winning going on here.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, that leaderboard is nice, but it doesn't mean a ton until about December, because there's so much that can happen now until then. So I mean, there's people, I would say there's probably football specific people on this site that are like, I didn't even have my chance yet. The season hasn't even started. So it's a grind, up and down, good luck, bad luck. Every day is a new day and a new opportunity to try to win some bets. Tokyo, Brandon, how was your Thursday?
I went 2-1. I just had a bad play on the Orioles. I thought they would come out and win, and they just looked horrible. And then I got lucky on the Twins. I was pretty happy. 2-1. Asian baseball, didn't bet it tonight or this morning. KBO is off until next Tuesday. They cancel all their games if the temperature gets above 95 degrees. And they're having a real heat wave. People are dying over there. So not quite as hot down here in Japan, but up there in Korea, they're roasting. So they'll be back on Tuesday, and they're going to start their games at 7 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. So an hour later than normal. So I went 2-1. Pretty happy with that. I'm okay. I'm still number 2 overall.
I feel like Asia, just the whole, in general, Japan, Korea, they just operate in 2040, they're 10, 15 years ahead of they plan that. So Korea plans that in, they bake it into the schedule. There's already, it's not like there's already a week planned at the end of the year if something like this were to happen. So it's an easy fix for them. They see the temperature, it's 100 degrees. They say, no problem. This is our week off. We'll put that week at the end of September, and they don't miss a beat. So that's something that's always impressed me with that league. Brian, go ahead.
Do you get many rainouts in those leagues?
They do.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Monsoon season.
Yeah. Only a few teams. One team in Korea has a dome. And in Japan, I think only 3 teams have a dome. So, there's a lot of rainouts. One thing about Korea is during COVID, they were the only league that played. Japan shut down, America shut down, Taiwan shut down, but Korea was going on. So they are pretty ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I think that might be why they got in touch with you, because they were looking for somebody to handicap those games.
Yeah, actually, during that period is when they did reach out to me.
Sought out for that. Yeah,
that's when they reached out to me. Absolutely, yeah. So this is my 6th year at WagerTalk.
All right, let's get into it for today. The live chat has populated, and there was ESPN. KBO was on ESPN for the entire year of 2020. They showed a game every single morning, 6 days a week. That's really what kind of got me into the league, more so as well, doing it on a daily basis. We're here to do MLB on a daily basis. So we'll start. Apple TV tonight has a doubleheader. One of those games that you can get exclusively on the Apple TV app is Rays Mariners. So Tokyo Brandon, I'll go to you first here. Tampa Bay Rays successful trip out to Colorado. They pull off the sweep, and now they had to head to the Pacific Northwest to take on, the Mariners just get blown out yesterday, 11-0. Always waiting for this team to turn a corner. Never really happens. How are you seeing Rays Mariners here?
Yeah, this is a good game to start off on because I'm going to make this my parlay leg. So let's break this game down. Rasmussen and Gilbert. Now, Gilbert is a pitcher. He's a good pitcher, but he's one of those pitchers. Like the books overvalue some guys, they undervalue some guys. I think Gilbert gets a little bit too much love from the books. I think he's highly overrated by the books, and I think it's a good chance to play on the opposite side today because against the Rays in his career, Gilbert has pretty poor numbers. Let me check. Let me just make sure what the sample size is. Yeah, it's a good enough sample size. 54 at-bats against, 296 batting average against, 782 OPS. The OPS is not huge, but the batting average is huge. Yandy Diaz is one of the guys who does damage against him. There's several guys in this lineup that can hit Gilbert. I think he's highly overrated as usual by the books. I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher, but you got to find these guys that the books are in love with, and you can bet against them sometimes. I like the Tampa Bay Rays first 5 innings over 1.5. I just checked it earlier. It's -110. Crazy. You don't think the Rays can score 2 runs in the first 5 innings? I certainly think they can. So that's going to be my parlay leg. If you don't mind me using a first 5 team total, I will use that. If you don't want me to use that, I will take the Rays on the money line.
I don't think we have any problem with the first 5 team total.
Okay.
If someone can't get it, they'll just have to adjust their own thing. You know,
Use the money line.
I'll go back to last year, like Logan Gilbert. So I thought the guy was hurt last year. Well, he was hurt last year. He had an injury. He came back, didn't look like himself. I was certain. I think I even said on a couple times on this show, Brian, he's probably going to have surgery in the offseason. He just looked like a guy that was leaving it all out there because the team was really good. Of course, the Mariners last year got to within 1 game of the World Series. And so when that didn't happen, I was a little bit surprised because I was sure that he was working through something. This year, I mean, I would agree with that. Like he does maybe get a little, but the Mariners in general. So let the Mariners in general are overvalued by the books every time they step on the field, especially this year. Even yesterday's game, thankfully, was like 30 cents off of where I had it, and it's actually kept me off of the Mariners in a lot of cases this year. Pretty thankful for that because there's a lot of spots that I would have jumped in and just didn't play them because the price is always kind of not great. Brian, you always say like teams leaving Coors Field. So that's the spot the Rays are in. Now they head to the Pacific Northwest. So talk to me about Rays Mariners because I got mixed feelings on this one.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. When TB says the books, he means the bettors because the books put up the line and the bettors shape the line. So
yes,
somebody out there he's right. They seem to really value Seattle at home. And I've talked about it. It's because it's such a good pitcher's ballpark. Tampa Bay is going from the best hitter's ballpark to the worst hitter's ballpark. That said, I love Rasmussen, and I trust Tampa Bay more than I trust Seattle. I've watched Seattle play, and I don't think the confidence is there for them. They're just not turning the corner. They're not doing what they should do. They get on a little bit of a run, and then it turns around. Tampa Bay, we've seen this year that they could go on some runs. They're playing pretty well right now. So I like the Tampa Bay side from a pitching standpoint. If I'm going to play it, I'd probably play, maybe Seattle team total under, something to that effect, because I'm a little bit worried about Tampa Bay going from that great hitter's park to this really great pitcher's park. Let's take a look at the team total for Seattle is 3.5 under 130. Yeah, if I'm getting involved in this one, I'm probably looking for Tampa Bay to shut them down a little bit, and they have to have 4 to beat me. So if I'm playing it, that's what I'm looking at, but I don't know if this is going to make my card.
Yeah, I mean, it it's actually crazy that Tampa Bay is the value here. Like, if you think about it, they just like they've been the best team in the American League for most of the season, have had one of the best records. They go out and sweep the Rockies, right? Like, so it's like they're not coming off of anything negative. They just won a whole, they swept that series. And now they're going to be an underdog here with Drew Rasmussen on the mound. Like, how does that make any actual sense? Really doesn't. I guess like, man, if you're really confident in that, like, hey, like, come out flat after playing an altitude angle. Other than that, but you know what? They've had a day. They did have the day to travel, so that helps. It's not like they went, they didn't play Thursday and have to play today. I think it'd be Rays or pass for me here. Reluctantly, I would say the Rays. I just can't believe Rasmussen is a dog at plus 105 or plus 102, even with Gilbert on the mound. Brian, your point, the Mariners have just been so underwhelming, and they continue to get priced up. I just don't understand it. What is TV's line for the team total first five?
He had the over 1.5, and it was under 1.5 minus 120. So what was that? Make it even money?
Yeah, we'll call it. We'll call that one even money. It's gonna differ book to book, but we'll call that even money. And listen, if you can't get the first five team total over, and you want to still do a 3-teamer, I don't think the Rays is a terrible option there. Again, it's
yeah. We're all looking to play the same team, just different ways to look at it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just like you'd be like, in my opinion, you're only betting the Mariners here if you're betting on the Rays to come out flat, and it's like the way that they play and sort of like. I'll say one thing before we move this on. The game I lost in that series against the Rays, like Kevin Cash put on an absolute clinic on like how to manage a late game situation. It was the game that went into extra innings. Stuff like that, not really baked into the line, but like that dude wins them close games. Like the Rays are the type of team that can win this game and not play their best. And it's why I'm kind of all set. I'm like, it'd have to be a really good reason to fade the Rays at this point. And this is not one of those. So, yeah, good luck to TB. I think he's got the right way to go here. And it'd be Rays or pass for me. All right, let's keep it going. Let's head back to the chat. Okay, let's see. We'll go to this one. Alex Rand says, are the Braves a good look today at Yankee Stadium? I may be going to this game tomorrow. Haven't decided yet. It's making last-second plans potentially to go to the Yankee-Braves game tomorrow afternoon. But tonight, these two teams play the opener of this series. It's going to be Max Fried on the mound for the Yankees, and the Braves, Bryan Leonard, who's pitching for the Braves. Oh, it's Tyler Mahle.
Tyler Mahle, yeah.
One of the, I guess, the newest Brave or one of the new Braves. So Braves, Yankees to you, Brian, kick us off.
Yeah, we've got Atlanta going with Mahle, the righty against Fried, the lefty for the Yankees. Yankees about a 150 favorite here with a total of 8, slightly to the over. Mahle going over from a lesser team, going to the playoffs. We talked about this the other day. Those are kind of guys that get rejuvenated a little bit. Max Fried coming back from injury just a few starts ago. I just wish I could trust the Yankee bats. If you've looked at the Yankees lately, they've really struggled. The last 30 days, the Yankees are coming in at 87 on their RC plus, and that's not usually what you're getting out of them. Their offense is a concern here. You're looking at a total of 8. And if I was an 8, there is some 8.5s out there. I'm seeing minus 115s, minus 124s. If I could find a 8.5 minus 110, I think I may take a look here at the under. I like the Yankees bullpen overall, and I love the Braves bullpen. And I think Fried, being a lefty, is going to give Atlanta some problems. Atlanta on the season versus lefties got a 93 WRC plus against a 105 for righties. So I'm going to shop around. If I can get a 8.5 under 110, I think I may give that a shot as a smaller play.
Tokyo Brandon, I heard mixed reviews a little bit for the Yankees and what they did at the trade deadline. I happen to like what they did at the trade deadline. I thought Luis Garcia was, made some sense looking at that lineup and the way it looked the week prior to the deadline. George Lombard might be a good player. He's someone that I liked in the minors. We saw him have a good Yankee debut. So, I think they got Ramos also from the Giants. So, I thought that the chance was to bet against the Yankees was probably last week when they were scuffling a little bit. The White Sox series, they split with them and they were favored most of those games. Actually managed to come away with 2 of 3 against the Cubs, which was impressive based on who they were trotting out there to play that series. But so I'm kind of back in on the Yankees, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. And Max Fried, he's battled through injury this year at times, but he's a guy that I'm willing to back in most cases. So lean Yankees for me here. How do you see Yankees Braves?
Yeah, before I do that, promo time. We have some individual promos, not only the double play, 2 of us 3 for 3 days all access, which is a great value because you get the 5% plays, which are normally $35. It's huge value. But we also, Brian has a full year special going on. I have my international baseball completely free if you buy the rest of my MLB season. I'm sure Adam has a promo he can tell you about in just a moment. I think his football is on a promo right now, so he'll tell you about that. So if you just want one of us, there's options. But if you want 2 of the 3 of us, great option as well. So go to WagerTalk.com and click any of our capper pages, and you'll find those specials down there. I love Max Fried. Seems to be having an off year right now, but if you look at his whip, it's still under 1. I admit the sample size is pretty small, but I think he's pitching really well right now. And when you break these 2 teams down, my favorite word in the English language, flaccid. Yankees need some green pills or something because their bats are limp as hell, and they need to start hitting. But they're not going to, I don't know. They could hit against Molly, but I've never liked Molly. But actually, if you look at his advanced numbers, he's actually a little bit above average. Pretty mediocre, but slightly above average. So I've never really liked him. But I think as bad as the Yankees are batting right now, he should be able to hold them down somewhat. And anytime, you guys have heard me say this over and over, but anytime you get the good lineup against the good pitcher, it equals under for me because pitching usually beats out good batting. Usually, not always. So the good pitcher usually can hold the good lineup down. Looks like an under to me too. I would agree with Brian on that. It's 8 though. I would alt it up to 8.5 if I actually were putting money on it. I would alt it to 8.5 and take the under here.
I think the Yankees are going to be my lay of the parlay. The more I look at it, like this is, I know it's like minus 145, 6, 48, whatever it may be. This kind of feels cheap, all things considered. So, you talked about Max Fried. He was out for a while. Just to make sure I don't misspeak. He injured himself against the Orioles on May 13th. Didn't come back till after the All-Star break. So July 22nd against the Pirates was when he came back. Did the rehab thing. They weren't trying to really rush him back. Made a couple rehab starts. I think he pitched at Scranton a couple of times. Was okay in that outing. The one against the White Sox, he didn't last particularly long in. But last time out at the Cubs, started to. I would say that was the one where I was like, okay, he looks to be back to normal. No pitch count. He's got the command back. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Gave up 1 run on 2 hits. Like if you get anything close to a vintage Fried start here, if you get a 6-inning quality start from Fried, the Yankees should be in a really good position to win this game. As far as their lineup's concerned, this is such a better Yankee lineup than the one we saw all week last week. Yes, they didn't score a couple times against the Cardinals, but they also did have a 13. They scored 7 in the game that they lost. They only scored 2 in one of the games that they won. But I just look at this lineup. George Lombard had a 34-game on base streak going at AAA before he was called up. He's reached base in both games at the big league level. If you can get that any sort of production if you're the Yankees from your 9-hole hitter or your 8 or 9 hitter. When a week ago you were running out Volpe, Wells, and like Ali Sanchez was down. I mean, it was really bad. Caballero, like the lineup they were running out there last week, 7 through 9, looked like you had no chance. Like the lineup that they're putting out there this week, in my opinion, you go Garcia, Ramos, Spencer Jones, Lombard at the bottom of the order. It's not an elite lineup right now, but it's a lot better. The fact that you're going to have Garcia and Ramos in there, protect Ben Rice, who's your superstar. I mean, that's the straw that stirs the drink, if you will, for the Yankees right now. So I'm kind of in on the Yankees, and I think you're getting a bargain on Fried. So this will be by parlay late. Yankees money line, Brian. Am I getting better than minus 150 here?
You've seen 44 to 55, so I would go 50. That's the majority. And just another correction, Mr. TB, in the United States, those are blue pills, and they're on every single commercial of any sporting event. So yeah, that's something that they drain in your head. Anytime somebody says something about blue pills, you know exactly what they're talking about.
And TV makes a good point, because if the Yankees break out here, they're going to win this game easily. If the Yankees don't break out here, Fried could go 6 innings, 1 run, and have them in a position to win anyway. So I just think at minus 150, I had this higher. I made this closer to minus 180. So for yeah, probably like I'm closer to, I'm in that minus 170 to minus 180 range here, and I just think you're getting Fried at a little bit of a discount. Tommy Turnbuckle says I'm
4, they probably win the game.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
If they can score 4. And you're right, their lineup is improved. My numbers are current form, including 14 days ago, 10 days ago, etc. So yeah, I mean, they're probably a little more improved. Yeah,
different.
It's very different. Yeah,
different lineup completely almost when you look at, if you go out 14 days. I mean, Garcia wasn't there, Julio Ramos wasn't there, George Lombard wasn't there. It's like 3 or 4 guys that weren't even factored into that. So
when they get Judge back, they're going to be pretty scary. So
yeah, don't count the Yankees. Oh, by playoff time, I think the Yankees are going to be fine, for sure. All right, let's go back to the chat. The people really want me to talk about the Marlins. We can do that game. So the Marlins, so I guess a good segue for the Braves. The Braves, of course, completed a 3-game sweep. Did have to deal with a rain delay. Not sure that, I'm sure they got out a little bit later than they would have liked yesterday. Had a little bit of a rain delay in that game with the Marlins, but they end up finishing the job 11-3, which means the Marlins come off of the sweep of the Mets and get swept by the Braves. Not exactly what you want to happen when you're in the thick of a wild card race. So that's tough for the Marlins. They did not hit all series. It's something we talked about yesterday. Now they come back home, and it's a big series for them. This is their season, in my opinion. If you're the Marlins and you can't take care of business, Tokyo Brandon, against the Angels this weekend, this is your season. So my question to you, Marlins now at home, do they get it done tonight? Do they save their season against the lowly Angels in South Beach this weekend?
Yeah, so this is one of those games where I have one team better than the other team in every single category, but only by like 1 or 2 points. So it's kind of one of those. I have Miami ranked like 3 points higher than the Angels in lineup. I've got them 1 point better in bullpen, but both bullpens are top 10 out of 30. And then Klassen is kind of the X factor for me. You're probably going to be able to shed more light on him than I am, because he's probably got more experience in the minors than he does in Major League Baseball. So his 2 starts have not been good. He's got a 3+ whip, but let's face it, he's only pitched 9 innings, so you really can't judge. So Adam will shed more light on his minor league, how he did then and what to expect today. So I'm going to take him out of the equation. But, Tyler Phillips, not a great pitcher, but at least he has experience in MLB. So if anything, I would bet Miami. They're just a better team. I mean, they are overall just a better team. The Angels burned me yesterday though because I had the Orioles, but I just think the Miami's a better team, and they're gonna make a little push for the playoffs here, and got them ranked better in 10 categories straight through, every category better. So I think Miami's the team to play here.
There is not one single chance that I would play the Marlins at this price right now, and that is coming from someone that was very pro Marlins, that has that needs them to make the playoffs because I have a nice future on them to make the playoffs. But this is listen, Bryan Leonard, Kurt Suzuki, I don't know what the hell he's doing. Like, he's just throwing yesterday he came down, he's like, well, because I just kind of throw the lineup together. I think he said that earlier this week. He's like, I'm not really looking at the best matchups. I think maybe what he was trying to say was, I want to see how Adam Frazier does against a lefty. I want to see, like, it would have been better if he articulated it in that manner, not just like, well, I'm going against the analytics here and there. The point is, the Angels, yes, bad baseball team. We know that. But that being said, they're still capable. The reason that I can't possibly play the Marlins at this price, George Klassen, my guy Mike here in the chat, love to see you guys following along at what's going on AAA. George Klassen's been awesome. So the Angels tried to call him up earlier this year. Didn't work out. He goes back down to AAA. He's really, really been good. And he was someone, when he was called up earlier this year, like, if you were sort of following Angels baseball, the thought process was, he's probably the most talented guy in our organization from a pitching standpoint. Yeah, he's been great at AAA. Now he's back. I do think the Marlins set up better against right-handed pitching, but if Klassen brings his form into from AAA, they've still got Ben Joyce lurking down there in the bullpen. Suddenly, this Angels team, from a pitching standpoint, not looking that bad. I kind of like him as a dog here, Brian. How do you see Angels Marlins?
I need to find a way to play the Angels one way or the other. Originally, I was thinking full game, possibly get upwards of 150 back with the Angels, because the Angels bullpen, as you mentioned it, the Angels bullpen is turning into a strength on that team. And I always love guys who are highly touted and they get in the chance to get in the majors. And a lot of times when you're highly touted like that, and Brandon would tell you the same thing, these guys get a little bit full of themselves. Now, I don't know if that's the situation with him, but needless to say, he got his ass kicked in the majors. Then they send him back down to the minors. He continued to work hard. And that is something that these guys, they haven't lost much in their lives. They've been star athletes no matter where they go. And now he's got a chance to come back. And the Angels are an afterthought at this point. I think we're going to get a good start out of Klassen. Clearly like him better than Phillips. So it's a situation where you're getting the better pitcher at a really good price here. So I either want to play the Angels full game, possibly Angels first half, possibly Angels plus 1.5, or Miami team total under. I haven't decided, but I'm going to be involved in this game one way or the other, and it's going to be fading Miami in this situation.
Yeah, I think the Angels are your livest dog of the day. They definitely tweet. This might be one scenario. I always badmouth the Angels in the way they handle their pitchers and starting pitching. They really don't know how to develop starting pitching. This is one scenario where, like, when he went back to AAA, that first month back, he was terrible. 10 ERA. I kind of think they might have tweaked what he was doing, maybe messed with his pitch mix, maybe worked on mechanics, because the month of June, Klassen was much better. The month of July, 0.99 whip, 197 batting average against in the PCL. Okay. That means, some of those starts, his home ballpark being one of them, altitude, Vegas, altitude. He had a couple starts at Sacramento, but still, this is a guy that just, if you can go and just shut down and just throw those numbers up in the PCL over the course of a month, it's pretty good with, and the reason he's also able to do that, get some swing and miss, like the guy, he's got really good stuff. And I just don't know how he could be that big of an underdog right there.
Confidence means so much with these young guys. And when he went back down, he had no confidence at all. And you can obviously see that if you put yourself in his position.
Wow. We have
Angels,
well, that's the thing, TB. It's tough to do. Of course, the one thing that gives me a little bit pause they had a good game yesterday, and you look at what this team has done all year, and you have to start looking like not a ton of back-to-back wins, not many winning streaks. So, they get the win yesterday. You're going to have to trust them here today. But at the price, man, you can't be laying $1.70, $1.65, $1.70 with the Marlins. Not the way they're playing right now, in my opinion. Wow, we have Donation City going on in the chat right now. So I got to shout some people out here, and then we'll get to games. We'll start. I'll go in order. Well, actually, let me go with this one first, because we're gonna. So first of all, very, very generous. Adam Pud. I'm just gonna call him Adam. Great name, by the way. Love the name. He says, "Good morning, guys. Congratulations to all of you for doing so well. When I found out you guys were donating to Cancer for Children, I had to donate. I'm a big fan of St. Jude's. God bless you and all. Have a great weekend." Shout out to you. Thank you so much for that. The home office is working on, we vet them out. We want to make sure. So they want to make sure it's a place where like as much of the money as possible is going toward the cause. So they do a really good job of vetting out who to work with. And we will be, the next donation is going to be to cancer research of some sort. So we very, very much appreciate that. Super generous.
Ask the home office to make it children's cancer research for you, Adam. So.
Yeah, they're really great about that. They have a number that they work with, and they really do a good job of vetting out the ones that we do donate to make sure the most is actually going to the cause. You got to vet them out. There's some bad ones out there where not much of the money actually goes to the cause. So they do a great job with that. Bucket Hack, appreciate you hyping me up here. Tokyo Brandon did mention my football package. That is a preseason NFL package up at a really good discount. If for like cost per play, it's going to be very low. It'll be much lower than what the NFL season would be cost per play. Yet they cash the same. I don't know how many times I have to say this. A 3%er in a preseason is the same thing as if you were to put a 3%er on the Super Bowl. I did not play the Hall of Fame game last night, so you didn't miss anything. So you've got a week. We're going to, because the NFL preseason is only 3 weeks, that package is off as soon as the first game kicks off. Because, week one's over. It's like half of the plays might be over. It's a quick 3-week preseason, 18-7 over the last 4 years. I swept them last year. I didn't lose a single one. So that's all I have to promote today. I'm still, if you want baseball today, look at the other two guys. They're hot. They're in form. I'm doing things like choking away 2-0 games in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and 2 strikes with a bullpen, with a reliever that has a 1 ERA. I'm not the guy right now. Let me win a couple, and then then you can come back and we'll get it going. At
Adam,
some point.
look what Gus just did in the chat. You got to highlight that.
Man, you guys are. That is shout out to all the Adams in here. Save the kids. Listen, we really appreciate you guys.
Awesome. We are going to make sure that our home office dedicates today's donations to children's cancer, not just cancer in general. We will ask them specifically.
They likely have the show on in the office. They do, like our shows are always on in the office, so they're probably watching right now, and they're probably already on it. So shout out to.
We gotta go to Sorry.
Gus.
We got to go to my guy John.
Love that. Yep, we're going to
go to my guy Jonathan Douglas.
Jonathan Douglas shouting you out from Tucson, Arizona. Well, TB, I'll let you kick this one off because he's asking you specifically thoughts on the Rangers money line today. I believe this is the other Apple TV game, so this is the other sort of quote unquote national TV Friday game. Hoping their bats took the green and blue pills. Yeah, they're up against your Orioles who didn't have the pills yesterday. The Orioles kind of no-showed that game. Big game, Rangers, Orioles. Who do you got?
Yeah, so Jonathan from Tucson, I spent 4.5 years. Took me an extra half year to graduate. But yeah, I spent a lot of time in Tucson at the University of Arizona. Wonderful place. Mount Lemmon is great for skiing and sightseeing, and the Green Dolphin is where I used my fake ID for 4 years and got plastered from the age of 19. But we drove down to Mexico. It's only an hour drive down to Mexico, Nogales as well. So we had designated drivers. Got a couple friends arrested for urinating in public. But I'll cover that on my show, which is tonight in the Asian baseball show tonight on my channel. Let's get to this game. So the Orioles are the only team in MLB that I have ranked 25th or worse in every category except starting pitching. My numbers like Shane Baz a little bit. Not like him a lot, but got him ranked 14 on a curve of 30. So he's slightly above average, where Nathan Eovaldi got him ranked 14.5. So he's slightly behind Baz, but they're both slightly above average. Bullpens are absolute trash. So at least in current form, both of them ranked 25 or worse. But the bats are a bit flaccid. They do need some pills, especially the Orioles. Rangers ranked 17 out of 30. Orioles ranked 25 out of 30. So how would I approach this? I would say a first 5 under would be the way to go in this one. I'm sorry, Robert, not a side, I'm sorry, Jonathan, not a side, but I would take an under in the first 5 because I like both pitchers and I do not like either lineup. And I do not trust either bullpen. So that's how I would approach this game if I were to bet it.
All right, Brian, Orioles, Rangers, how do you see this one?
Yeah, I watched that Orioles game. They look bad. They did not look good in that game at all. But I was against Eovaldi. Eovaldi's about a 148 favorite, let's say, with a total of 7.5 to the under. And yeah, Baz has been very consistent this year. He has I believe his game score on the season is like 52, and he's been really consistent. His last 6 starts have all been in that range, maybe a little bit better. So he's playing pretty well. It's a good pitcher's ballpark here, so I would expect a pretty good effort out of him. Eovaldi at home has been terrific for Texas. They seem to put everything together when he's on the mound. They hit for him, and he's pitched pretty well here. So it's 7.5 to the under. I lean that way a little bit. I also lean with Texas a little bit. There is a 140 out there if you got a Hard Rock account. If I could get a 140, I may be interested in Texas, but right now that's the only place that has it out there. Yeah, tough game to handicap, but I don't think either offense is really going to go off in this one. So I kind of like the under, maybe Baltimore team total under, something of that magnitude.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I probably won't spend a ton of time on this one because I felt like the Rangers were a little bit too juiced up for maybe how they've been playing of late. The Orioles, though, real concerns. Listening to some of the comments coming at, seems like the players were not all that thrilled about the Adley Rutschman trade. He was tight with a lot of those guys. Pete Alonso said something about it was almost like it's on us, like we should win more games. And it's like, but on the other hand, this is what I was talking about with Tokyo Brandon the other day on deadline day, where, you have teams now. This is different from even 5 years ago. The Baltimore Orioles are 1 game out of the wild card in the American League. And these teams should not be selling guys. And the Orioles have done this a couple of times to the point where I think the fan base is kind of pissed, and I think the players have got to be a little bit pissed off too, because this is not the first time they've done this. And it's I get what they're doing because they look at guys and they look at what each guy is going to cost. And it's a plus that they see a plus trade on paper where they're getting more years of control. It's good from a money standpoint. But I think we've lost the whole point is to make the playoffs and win a World Series. That should be the point. Too much of these teams operating as a business. It's nice that you want your business to be profitable. I don't like owners like that. I don't like GMs like that. The goal is to win the big league level, not Bowie. You don't need the Chesapeake Bay Sox to be really good. The goal is to win at the big league level. And when you're a game out and you ship off one of your bet, now granted, you have your own opinions about Rutschman. Maybe he's declined a little bit, but all the players in the locker room think he's the guy. And so now, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't love the vibes in the locker room with that trade. Gunnar has it like if you read between the lines that the players are not happy. So it's like, I don't know, Gunnar may not re-sign at the end of the season. I have my concerns with the Orioles right now. As far as this game goes, though, I do think under is probably the way to find a play. Shane Baz has gotten a lot better than he was at the beginning of the season. They notably messed with his pitch mix. Okay. Like that was not like, I'm not guessing about that. They came out and said, we're having him throw more of this pitch, less of this pitch. So like, I'm almost willing to give a guy on a new team that had a bad April and May a pass, knowing that he was like trying to tweak things. Baz has been better of late. Makes it tough for me to do anything other than maybe play an under here because like, I don't really want to go against the Orioles in this price range, but at the same time, I don't love what I'm hearing coming out of Baltimore. So that's my take on this game. All right, Freebird.
This is why you don't see the Orioles. This is why you don't see the Orioles in the World Series, because their front office are a bunch of morons.
It's just he's made a lot of good deals and got a lot of good prospects in, but at some point you have to go for it. You're a game out. In an American league that is as bad as it's been top to bottom that I can remember. Why would this not be the year that you would try? And I think that sends a bad message to the guys on the field. And then like we have guys in the chat saying like Gunner's gone at the end of the year. Yeah. Like that's it's just, I don't get a warm fuzzy feeling when I'm looking at like just the makeup of this Orioles team now.
Alonso doesn't look happy. I wouldn't want to play there.
Yeah, Alonso made like a backhanded comment a little bit the other day too. Like, well, guess we should have won more games. It's like, but at the same time, they're a game out. Freebird, let's get Freebird in here. He says it's a fabulous Friday. Everyone wins today with this great advice. We appreciate you always in the chat. He says cards today. So let's go to Bryan Leonard to kick this one off. Cardinals, Rockies. Rockies hitting the road here after a not so successful homestand, or at least home series with the Rays. Now they're on the road in St. Louis. How do you see this one?
Yeah, Colorado's not a very good road team, and they've been that way for a long time. St. Louis is also a team that's not hitting right now. Leahy's been pitching pretty well, but if I'm looking at this one, I would have to take a look at something to do with the under. Feltner was much better early in the season than they are now, but I don't trust these St. Louis bats right now. We're looking at basically Leahy's 170 favorite or so, with a total of 8.5 to the under. If I'm playing this one, I expect it to be a lower scoring game. Colorado coming out of obviously playing at home and going to St. Louis, which is actually a pretty good pitcher's park. But this St. Louis offense has just not been hitting very well. I don't trust Colorado's hitters right now. So yeah, if I'm getting involved in this, I'm going to play the under. You're getting them at maybe minus 105, minus 110. That's not bad. Colorado, St. Louis under if it's up to me on this one. I'm just really concerned about the St. Louis bats. They were a team I was on a lot earlier in the season. We made a lot of money on them, but they have not really hit. And in fact, if you take a look at the last month, St. Louis's WRC plus is 71. The next closest, 78 for the Rockies. So you got the two worst hitting teams in baseball. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to play the under here.
Yeah, Tokyo Brandon, the Cardinals have done exactly what I kind of foreshadowed them doing. I remember we had a point in time back in June. Someone in the chat gave me a hard time. I was like, there is no way that this team is going to be like 8 games over 500 at the end of the season. They are now under 500. Since then, they've been about 8 games below. That would be, I would say that was probably mid-June. At some point, they're now 57 and 58. And I'd be shocked if this team gets over 500. Maybe they do in this series because they're at home against the Rockies. It's a favorable series for them. I'll be really surprised if the Cardinals poke their head back up over 500 at any point the rest of the way. It's a young baseball team. I feel like they've collectively run out of gas. It was a great effort for them to start the year. Maybe next year, in my opinion, for the Cardinals. That being said, it is the Rockies, and the Rockies are on the road. So Cardinals, Rockies to you. How do you see this one?
Yeah, double play, 2 of us 3 for 3 days. Great price. excellent discount, includes all of our 5% plays for the next 3 days, full access. So grab a double play at wagertalk.com. It's under any of our capper pages there, so go to wagertalk.com and check it out. So interesting fact here. The Rockies are hitting, like Brian made a good point, the Rockies are hitting a lot better than the Cardinals are, which is surprising because no one thinks of the Rockies as like this power hitting team. Thing about Feltner, though, is he's actually better at home than on the road. He's got a 6+ ERA on the road. So if anything is going to wake up the Cardinal bats, it could be a pitcher like Feltner, but it's really hard to trust a team that's hitting this poorly. I got them ranked 16 out of 30, but the eye test, they look a lot worse than that. What worries me about the Cardinals, their bullpen is even worse. Got their bullpen ranked 24 and the Rockies ranked 19. If I were to bet an under, I would do it in the first 5, just because I don't trust either one of these bullpens. Leahy's great command. I mean, he's only walking 24% of the batters he's striking out. So he's got great command. Again, I agree with Brian on the under, because anytime you get the better pitcher against the better lineup, you know what that means, for me at least. It's not 100%. Nothing's 100% in sports betting, but generally speaking, from our experience, I see unders when I see the better pitcher going against the better lineup. So I would go under in the first 5, maybe, in this one.
Yeah, I think if you could get an under 9, that would be a reasonable bet. I see under 8.5s out there. I don't know if there's any under 9s that are affordable. It's obviously like a pretty key number. My run projection here is right on 8.5 or 8.5. I see 8.5s that aren't super juiced here. So I'm wondering if you can get like a 9 minus 125. I think that's probably fair. Leahy, Kyle Leahy was a guy that I did not like at all. I couldn't believe that the Cardinals were sticking with him as long as they were. He's starting to navigate starts a little bit better. Like the last month or so, I guess I could see why they didn't give up on him. I mean, I was shocked when we were a couple months into the season, Brian, and they were like still sort of running him out there because sometimes I maybe buy in too much of the expected numbers, because listen, the expected numbers are one thing, but the guy keeps getting out. So I guess you just roll him out there. Under 9 for me. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. To me, this is, when you take a look at Feltner, his game score is 42 on the season. Not that great. He hasn't been that great, but he's been really bad as of late. And I tried to do my betting as if I'm playing the stock market, where you want to sell high, buy low. You would be buying low right now on Feltner. His last 4 starts, his game scores, like I said, 42 on the season, not the greatest number, but 37, 33, -7, and 25. So he's got 4 straight bad starts, but before that he had 3 straight really good starts. So pitchers and baseball players are very streaky, but you're paying a pretty bargain price here if you're looking for him to bounce back a little bit, and I think he does against the St. Louis offense.
I'll tell you what, I don't love either one. I'm not sure which of these is going to happen, but this is another one. The Cardinals simply can't be a $1.70 favorite in this spot, in my opinion. So I truly believe that if you were to play Rockies money line and Angels money line tonight, you are probably making money on that. That I will say. I don't if you take they're both plus 150 dogs. If you're an underdog better and you take Rockies money line and Angels money line, you're probably netting a profit, because those are the Cardinals and the Marlins right now are 2 teams that in these respective scenarios should just absolutely not be $1.70 favorites. And I'll leave it at that. Brian, coming back to you, we need your parlay leg. What game do you want to go to?
We'll go back to a game we talked about. Many choices today. I really like this card. I am going to put up either a 4 or 5 on a 22-6 run. Now 71 and 34 over the last, 105? Yeah, if you're betting baseball and you're not at least listening to what we're saying about these games, you're doing it wrong. But that special going on 12 months, we're the most profitable handicapper in all sports the last 12 months at WagerTalk, and you're basically going to be getting your plays, every play I release, for less than $1. I mean, it's a terrific bargain. We've got a lot of people already talking about it. It only lasts this week, so it's something we're going to take off pretty soon. So get on that if you haven't yet. I've said before, I haven't seen a lot of underdogs that I like and that have value. I think the Angels have value, so we're going to go with the Angels here. Many different ways to play this, but right now you can get them 140, 148. Let's say you can get higher than that, but let's go with plus 148 for the Angels. If you want the information on it, we talked about that game earlier.
Yeah, we're gonna get one more game in here. I'll recap the parlay at the end. Let's pop into the chat here. The first one I see in the chat is David. So let's talk Reds Nats. He says Reds Nats over 8.5. But Tokyo Brandon, I'll let you kick this one off. Side or total here, Reds Nationals. How do you see this one?
Yeah, the Nationals have really fallen a little bit since making those trades. No surprise though. They weren't. I mean, their lineup was doing great, getting the over 1.5 at the beginning of the season in the first 5s, but the book caught on. Now they price them at 2.5, and they don't have the firepower to get over 2.5 anymore. So they're falling off a little bit. We got Cavalli going for them. I actually like Cavalli. I like his numbers. I like his expected numbers, and his control is excellent. He's only walking 24% of the guys he's striking out. So excellent numbers for Cavalli. I actually like him there. Both lineups, I got them ranked between 14 and 16. Extremely mediocre. The Reds have a big bullpen advantage here, though, because Washington's bullpen is almost like auto runs as soon as they come in the game. I mean, I've been watching them. As soon as the bullpen comes in, you can count on one run. It's over under 1.5 for that bullpen every single game. So they're just awful. And the Reds bullpen is nailing things down pretty good. I got them ranked 8 right now. So hard to go against the team with that much better of a bullpen when the hitting is kind of equal. I do like Cavalli though, so I'm kind of stuck on this. And the Reds still haven't decided who they're going to start. But with a bullpen like that, I would have to take the Reds, even though I like Cavalli.
Yeah, every situation is different. So like the Nationals, for example, like, yes, you make a good point, Tokyo Brandon. They traded away 2 of their best hitters, Curtis Mead and Luis Garcia, have been 2 of the most productive this year. And then they get hit with an untimely James Wood heading to the IL. So that it is definitely not the same Nats lineup as you saw earlier this year. That being said, like, this is a team where new management, new front office guys at the beginning of the year, like, I think they kind of played it like this was always going to be a rebuilding year. They got themselves in the mix, but I think they looked at the team, Brian, said, man, we really don't have the pitching. Like, we won a World Series back in 2019, so the fan base isn't coming for our necks just yet. And like, they remind me, I was talking to a Nats fan. One of my buddies is a big Nats fan the other day. And I said, man, I like this guy Taboni, who comes over from the Red Sox, and he's the new GM or president of ops or whatever. This feels like the 2014 Cubs to me, where they started to get those guys like Baez and Addison Russell, and like, you're like, man, they got a lot of good young guys, and it's like they showed some flashes during the year, but ultimately finished way out of the race. But then it was like the next year they were nasty, and then the year after that they won a World Series. Like, that is how much talent is in the Nationals organization right now. Point is, I don't mind. Like, I think the Nationals are going to continue to play hard throughout the regular, the rest of the way. It's probably not going to be good enough, but I kind of like them here. The Reds don't hit right-handed pitching. They've been one of the worst against right-handed pitching all year. And Cade Cavalli, I don't think he's gotten enough credit. I think he's quietly been very solid. So Nats at home, I think I take them here at a short price. That's my call for this one. How do you see Nats Reds?
Who's pitching for the Reds? I can't give a handicap without knowing that. Have you heard anything at all? I haven't heard anything.
I thought I saw Chase Petty for the Reds today.
Okay, I heard they were talking about Petty, but I haven't seen them announce anything. And although I like Petty, he's not pitched well. He's a guy that was highly touted, but Yeah, he just has not pitched well, so I don't trust him. And from the Reds bullpen, yeah, I do like the back of the Reds bullpen right now, but they've all been used pretty heavily lately. So with Petty on the mound, I would expect the relievers to have to go out there earlier, which means I don't want Cincinnati. Now, from the Washington standpoint, I don't want Washington without some of their best players. And so if I'm looking at this one, I think it'll be a lower scoring game, but I'm not going to get involved here.
One more donation. Shout out Freebird. He says, thanks, gentlemen. Children's Hospital UAB saved my older daughter's life when she was 3 from a terrible strain of pneumonia. Wonderful charity. What time's the show tomorrow? The show on Saturday is an hour later. It's always 10 a.m. We go right ahead of last call. Little UAB Blazers shout out right there. Horrible what they've done with their logo. They have this great dragon, and they're shoving a very plain UAB font down our throat. That's my rant for the day. Bring back that dragon is awesome. Bring that fire-breathing dragon
cool.
back. I don't want to just see
this dragon is flaccid.
Yeah.
It's not even a dragon anymore. It's just a lame.
Bowling Green did the same
UAB.
thing. They got this. Bowling Green's got this great falcon, and now like everything. I'm in there this over the like the winter. I was at a Bowling Green game, and all the stuff just says BGSU on it. I'm like, I'm not buying this. Give me the falcon back. Yeah. Come on.
All right,
anyway,
I got to go. Yeah. I got. By the way, I'm going to be on. Obviously, we'll be on the show tomorrow, and then I'll be on the show after that as well. So you get plenty of me tomorrow.
Parlay has already been locked in. We've reached the end of the show. I'm going to go with Yankees minus 150. Brian, what's your Angels? Plus 145, plus 150?
I think 148 is what I put it out at.
All right, so I've got Yankees full game minus 150. Brian's going Angels plus 148 full game, juicing up those parlay odds. And Tokyo Brandon is going to go Rays team total, first 5 over 1.5 runs, roughly even money. That's your 3-teamer for today. And the 3 of us will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, for more total basis. Take care, everyone. Thank you for all the donations today. Shout out to the chat, the best chat in the business for sure. We'll see you guys tomorrow.